Alright, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for a
Great Teacher Onizuka, episode 37.
Okay, Futsuki went a little crazy in the last episode.
Just a little bit overboard.
A little insecure, it's understandable.
You must love you, Futsuki.
Yes, darling. Love you, love you. You are very lovable. You do not need to change who you are.
Right, and when you treat yourself, have it be a true treat to yourself.
Yes.
Not for anyone else.
Treat yourself.
That's right.
Parks
That's
and
right.
Recreation. Yes, indeed.
Yes. So now it's the Okinawa trip. And however this goes for Futsuki.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I hope that it goes well. So yeah, y'all, Okinawa vacation trip. Without further ado, let's get into it. Easy love, easy come, easy go. Go stay at the door. But got a lonely, 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 lonely.
Take it away, Caleb.
Mad person is the only one who can make my heart hot. Love me. Kiss me, kiss me. Nobody knows what means love so. Do you know how love song goes on? Wait. Nothing's probably going to connect from the previous episode.
Yeah, it doesn't look like. Kunyo's just like,
Oh my god, this is going to be amazing.
Oh yes. I love the shirt.
He almost got harpooned.
It's kind of a problem.
Me neither. Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Lose control!
Oh boy.
Oh my god! Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Up in here, up in here. Oh, Yoshikawa.
Hey,
bitch. Oh, he's on Onizuka's side. Oh. What a radical statement! We might get Yoshikawa focused this episode then. Yes, Onizuka, you are a picturesque piece of art. Absolutely. Indeed. Wow, that's cool. Absolutely.
Oh.
Oh, Onizuka, what?
Wow. Oh no. Oh no.
Love. What is
something
it?
to do with his mom.
Yeah, but... Ah! Hold on. Okay, so Anko is the new threat, essentially, in this case. Wow.
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 I'm really excited to see how Yoshikawa handles this, though.
Onizuka. And his passive perception of 22. Of course. Yeah, I was gonna say, wow, it must be so rough. You look like... Schedule? Ah, gotcha.
Okay.
まだやってなかったんですか？
せっかくのリゾートでしょ。作り直してんすよ、もう一回。
Oh
この
no.
ままじゃいまいち面白くないかななんて思ってね。
So I'm mixing up all the boys and girls rooms.
それでは各クラスの部屋を
Oh my gosh. Oh, is Yoshikawa got a girl in his room?
He's in a room with Anko,
僕の部屋が
probably.
見当たらないんですけど。
Yeah.
たちと一緒の
Uh-huh.
Ah! Onizuka's theme coming in.
部屋じゃねえか、たまにはよ。
Ah!
Onizuka trying to play matchmaker.
No, I mean, there's that, but I think it's also just to kind of get them more, you know, get them more used to each other.
ガンダムの OVA 見てないんですか？
Oh my gosh.
名作ですよあれは。
It's a
特にバーニ
masterpiece.
ーがザクツ回で突っ込むシーンなんか哀愁っていうか。
ところでウルミさんは何作目が好きですか？
Oh
それ
no.
によって性格がわかるんだよね。まあ言ってみれば
Oh no.
血液型占いみたいなもんで。
All the
ガンダムみたい
anime.
ね
Uh-huh.
やったやった。ねえねえ
They're speaking in a language she doesn't understand.
しようかうんあの小説
Oh,
Is
no.
she gonna just disassemble them or what? Yeah.
The bag coming down. Down.
きっと神崎さんも喜ぶぞ。
Oh, okay. Yeah, exactly! Exactly! He's just like, oh yeah.
2000円。
Upset the established balance and everything becomes
いいわね、あんたた
chaos.
ち。このテーブルよりこっちに絶対に入らないでよ。何よこの部屋割り。そうよ。よりによって鬼塚の古文みたいなやつと一緒
Oh
だ
my
なんて。
gosh.
今日からあんた
Oh.
にはこの部屋で寝てもらうからね。
Wow.
部屋って
恨むんだったら鬼塚を恨むんだね。
Okay. What's your game plan, Onizuka?
やだな。こんなところで寝るなんて。
静かにしろよ。
先生、コウモリじゃあるまい
Was
し。
everything else a cover just so that they wouldn't suspect this? And
Maybe.
he's actually like in the room above intentionally so that he can like prank them or something?
先生の
Maybe.
おかげで今夜はヤブカと格闘しながら寝なくちゃならなくなっちゃった。マラリアになったら
If I get in the way, it's you.
まあそう暗くなるなって。女体観測とかよ。ほら見てみあいつら。男追い出したと思って伸び伸びしてるぞ。ほーブラ外そうとしてるね。
まずいよ先生。
心配すんなって今変わって。
I'll let you see this.
Is it like one of those things of like in public speaking just to picture them naked? Is that what he's trying to do?
And suddenly
he's already
Onizuka's
gone.
gone.
悪魔にそそのかされて。
悪魔？
I'm Batman.
そんなもの。
What? What? How? Onizuka!
Doesn't make
How?
doesn't need to make sense.
危なかった。歌詞お前も情けないよな。女に酔ってたかって。仕返しすらいいのによ。
That's kind of true, though.
It's not exactly his style, but that might be what he needs.
僕より背も高いし、勝てっこないよ。
Oh my gosh, let's
Oh boy.
let's yeah.
首でもつってみる。とかよ。
あんこ、 やっぱ吉川は部屋に入れた方がいいんじゃない？
Oh, that's
ちょっ
dirty.
とやりすぎって気するし。
Oh my
どうして
gosh.
Uh-huh.
They're going to be traumatized.
Uh-huh.
Oh my god, they're even
Yeah.
bringing it up.
言ってんのよ。死ぬわけないでしょ。
I'm trying to help
そ
him.
んな勇気があ
Yeah.
ったら
Maybe Onizuka will come in through the front door and be like, hey, I'm just doing an
No.
inspection.
No, yep, uh-huh, yep,
Oh my god.
yep.
Oh!
The other one's just sleeping right through it.
やりすぎだって。
Has nothing to do with me!
とにかく助けなきゃ。今ならまだ間に合うかも。確か。だって今見間違えたとか。そんなバカな。だっていないじゃない。ロープが切れて下に落ちちゃったのかも。
Hmm.
確かめてよ、アンコ。なんで私が。あれ、ないわよ。
Oh my god, that would scare the crap out of me.
The other one's still sleeping.
Go to heaven!
見ろよほらよしかこいつらの顔固まってんぞほら
And the other one's still sleeping!
Yep, uh-huh.
Oh my god!
Come on, yep.
あー楽しかったじゃあ俺帰るから
Yep, yep, make your exit.
まあとは仲良くやってくれ同じ部屋の者同士でよじゃあな
Jana!
何があったの？
What is it? Well, it didn't really work out.
ながら聞いてください。
I guess this is gonna be a long, drawn-out battle.
Oh my
Holy
God.
crap.
どうしたんだよ吉川その
His
顔
shirt says loser.
試合後のジョーみたいな顔になってんぞ
You look like Joe's face after the
ち
box.
ょっと上原さんに
Hey.
何笑ってんのよ、吉川。
いや別に
ほらまた。
朝飯ぐらい静かに食べろ
Onizuka, why you look so smug? Why you look so
仲良くやっ
smug?
てたか楽しかっただろ顔に書いてあるぜ
Because he actually
まあね
like,
で
got
も
him
や
back.
っぱり女の子だよね面白いんだよあれから一睡もできなかったらしくてさ一晩中トランプやってたみたい
Oh my god.
よしかなんかお前男らしく見えてきたぜ
Scars
一人
and
前の男になったっ
bruises.
つうか証拠をよく確かめてみろなんだろ
何すんだよさせ
She still doesn't know!
Yeah.
見てろよ、鬼塚のやつ。
Okay. So that's how they'll kind of start things, but the Okinawa trip will probably last for a
Right.
decent amount of time. And that'll kind of...
Theoretically, it could go for the whole rest of the show.
It could,
Probably
it
not.
could, but I think it'll probably go for like one or two more.
And then they'll go back, and then it'll be Aizawa's
Yeah,
like resolution.
yeah.
I just
Oh.
this ending.
Yeah, but okay, so Yoshikawa got some focus again,
Yep.
which is great. I feel like this show doesn't know exactly how to handle its side characters sometimes,
Mhm.
and Yoshikawa is an example of where I wish they would have,
Yeah.
you know, done with it more.
Mhm.
But this just having him be a focus again is like, okay, good,
Right.
he's back.
Yeah, I still I
What?
kind of don't like how this went though, because it just made me not like Anko even more. Like I was hoping before that she had kind of sort of changed maybe, but
Yeah, but that's why this is a multi-episode arc, is that Anko's going to be saved by the end of the trip.
sure.
So it's going to take some time.
Although that might have just been well, no, yeah, they did say there would be more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also another thing is that like Anka was just introduced here.
No, this was from way back. She was the one who originally bullied him, right?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry, it's just been a while. But yeah, but they brought up the whole thing of the people who are on Onizuka's side, people who aren't on Onizuka's side. Basically, like there's already a war with battle lines drawn, and stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're on the Okinawa trip.
Mhm.
There is no crossover with the Fuyutsuki episode. In a lot of ways, I cannot be
I am so
happier.
happy about that. Yeah.
Thank you. That was a really
That would have been unfortunate if they had let that bleed through.
Yeah.
Yoshikawa, we got focus, and that was great.
Anko
Yoshikawa's
was brought
focus
back.
is always great. Yeah, Anko was brought back.
Yep.
And they did that whole dynamic, and that stuff happened. Anko was still bullying him pretty bad.
Yeah.
But Yoshikawa got back at her.
Yes. Onizuka also took a very active role in being the leader and how things are going to be done for this trip, as opposed to having the vice principal kind of demand that things go the way a normal class trip would.
Right.
Which is funny because they showed us also how easily corruptible he was with the idea of, basically absconding off to some interesting
It's just all the stuff that's above board that he has a problem with. Like that's up front for everyone to see.
Yeah, it's something that I would say shows that Onizuka deserves to be the leader in charge of this here. But I wish he wouldn't be so cold with Fuyutsuki, and he would give her an opportunity to at least help him maybe with the arrangements of the rooms. While I like the idea of him being like, hey, let's mix it up and see what happens. I think that's a total Onizuka thing to do.
Yep.
I think that overall it's going to end up being a thing where, maybe some parents will get upset, but there will be a lot of people that have good experiences because of it, because there is a division right now within the class. There are people that are on Onizuka's side and people that aren't. And what Onizuka might be doing is saying, hey, I'm just going to force you all to mingle.
Like this makes me think of like the part in Remember the Titans when they when Boone has them switch up the buses. That's a good comparison here.
It's something though that while they are junior hires, they're middle schoolers basically, there is a maturity amongst a lot of them that it's just kind of like, whoa, okay, I would love to see how those mature ones in the groups kind of handle this whole situation.
I was almost kind of surprised.
Like Kanzaki.
I was kind of surprised with Kanzaki, like
Kikuchi.
How she seemed unable to handle that. Of just like, oh no, this is awful. Like I thought she would do something of just like, okay, time to lay down the law. Like
I love that there were tons of anime references in here, and since I don't know anything about Gundam, that was great to be like, I don't know what they're talking about either.
But
so I
could
understand
tell it was internally consistent,
right? But I understood Kanzaki's pain because it's whenever you see, fans, like super fans of certain things, and they just get into their thing and they're talking about it.
Oh yeah.
It's like another language. Yep. And Kanzaki is like the smartest person on the planet.
But there's still information that she doesn't
know about.
Because here's the thing. The reason that she probably doesn't have that information is because she looks at that and says, that's the most useless information possible.
Muda desu.
I'm not going to waste my headspace with not slamming any Gundam fans out there.
Right.
But, just from her perspective, that's probably how she thinks of it. So then she's just like,
the terror in her eyes.
This is going to suck.
Onizuka, how could you?
Like,
I don't understand a thing they're saying.
You bastard!
But Kikuchi and Kunio got two of Aizawa's henchmen, essentially. Yeah. And so that's something interesting.
And they just basically they handled it pretty well. They're just like, okay, we're just gonna sit over here. Oh, they're complaining. We have to deal with this too. All right.
It is something though that the whole idea of basically them Onizuka basically going, hey, self-govern, figure it out yourselves.
Yep.
I
Descend
like
back to barbarism and rise from the ashes.
Hey, I mean, it's not necessarily going to go to barbarism because this is something that I think in terms of like I'm not a parent or anything, but in terms of a parenting type thing, giving agency to people,
to these sexually frustrated young people.
Yeah, they're pretty young, but still, just basically saying, hey, figure this thing out. They're not animals. Like yes, they're going through puberty and stuff, a lot of them, but the thing is that like just because that's a thing doesn't mean it's all going to descend into some crazy, orgy or something like that.
Yeah.
Like this is something that
if anything, it seemed like Onizuka was intentional about setting people up in rooms with people that specifically wouldn't get along.
Right.
So in a lot of ways, he's bypassing that problem.
Sure.
Unless it's like, it makes me think of the Deadpool line of they're like an avocado that had sex with an uglier avocado. Yeah. But it was like, it's just like pure hateful. Like that's the only thing you would have to worry about in this situation. And I don't think there would be a likelihood of that happening.
No, but like think back to those times when you went on like camp trips or something like that. And they very clearly like separate the girls and the boys,
and they
stuff
talked
like
about
that.
how there would be counselors, you know, on a 15-minute rotation, you know,
making sure no shenanigans happened.
Right.
Now, while there would probably be shenanigans happening and stuff, here's the thing that I find to be kind of interesting is that you could put it into a situation where if you did everything in pairs, you know, 2 and 2, in some ways they might kind of keep each other accountable without even really, you know, meaning to. And that's something where I just think back and how little I understood about the opposite sex, you know, growing up, and just being like, oh, I don't know, Jack, just the idea that if I was maybe paired up with someone I had some connection with, you know, there was a guy, and then 2 girls I had no idea like anything about them, is just like
actively like couldn't stand
them, it would, you know, and I would be like 13 or something like that, or 14. I'm assuming they're all 14. Thank you. Yeah, for class 3 at least, class 3, 4. Yeah, it would be kind of interesting. I would probably be socially inept, socially awkward, and just like, oh my god, I'm just gonna like, you know, like, no, I'm not, you know. Yeah. But I think that coming out of it at the end of whatever the trip would be, if it was like a week long or something,
would have grown as a person.
I think anyone involved in that kind of thing would grow as a person, even if, yes, you run the risk of, you know, from the adult's perspective of shenanigans going down and stuff.
Which,
like,
yeah, let's be real. In any kind of real scenario like this wouldn't happen. But if it somehow did, Onizuka would be fired.
I don't know. We'll end up seeing. I mean, this is happening towards the end of the show, so maybe Onizuka gets fired at some point.
Yeah.
But I mean, you know, maybe all the kids will just have a good time and then no one complains, and
that's what the parents are afraid of.
and then the other teachers are like, well, we don't want to. Well, we were kind of complicit by being on the trip, so we don't want to say anything about it. And it'll just be this big secret.
We didn't stop it, so all right.
I'm going to call it right now. No one's going to make a big hustle or bustle or anything about it, because they're going to be like,
in Vegas stays in Vegas.
No, nothing like that. Just saying that like it was a learning experience for all of them, and they overall liked it. And the people that didn't like it, by the end of the trip, were like, okay, whatever. I'm not gonna.
I had to put up with that, but all right.
Yeah, if anything, it made the trip more memorable.
Sure.
Yeah. And if anything, they'll probably be the ones like, hey, you know, when you do the next one, you know, let me know if you need help finding, you know, money to do that again. You know, I know people that can. That would be just a cool thing to see from some of the students, where they're more actively trying to support Onizuka's further crazy adventure endeavors. And
sure, just because like,
for the class,
you know,
because he has your best at heart. That's, I mean, at least what he believes is the best. Obviously, of course, no one can know what the best is for someone else.
Can you ever really trust what Onizuka sees as the best for somebody? To an extent, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, totally. I absolutely loved the little bits that they did with Anko's other roommate that just slept through everything.
Tell me, come on, I want to know what happened last night.
I don't think I've ever seen that girl in Onizuka before. Maybe she was, you know, a side character in one of the plot lines. Maybe she wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know her name or anything, but that was hilarious. Like it brought levity into an otherwise very not fun situation for several of the times. So. That was helpful.
Yeah. Yoshikawa getting his comeuppance on Anko and her friend. That was pretty hilarious. The going for it of the we're gonna go there, like we're going to have you pretend to hang yourself again. I'm like, oh my god, that is really dark.
I kind of wish that Onizuka hadn't been the one to take the pictures or anything like that, so that they thought it was all Yoshikawa, and then it's just like, got you. You know, and of course, like he would have had to practice. Yeah,
I don't think he would have done it. Like, he's not that confident.
Onizuka would have had to like
coach
him and help him practice
Possibly.
like the delivery of just that line, and then afterwards, if he does the sorry, and all that,
But he would have had to get rid of the camera and give it to someone else.
or just not have like the camera there. I don't know. Yeah,
No, because then there would have been a camera thing. They would have smashed the camera. Do you realize, like, this is something that
that's true. That's
I am
true.
I am not a prank person. Here's the thing. This is a fictional story, so I don't really.
Yeah.
It's fiction, so
Right.
that's the thing. But I am not a pranks person. I know too many people that have pranked someone and it's gone wrong.
Right.
And I'm not talking about wrong in where, like, the prankster ended up doing something that was too far, where they actually like hurt someone and stuff like that. What I've generally seen is the overreaction from the people being pranked,
where it gets them really good, like too good.
Well, it gets them either really good in the, like, they are traumatized a little bit. Like, it's kind of what Kanzuki did. Kanzuki went too far, absolutely, in the casting there. That's way too far. This is something where I would say this is more reasonable, but the Onizuka kind of coming and taking pictures and things like that, they're scared. There's now, that whole thing there.
Right.
But I've been
Proof that it happened, they can't just brush it under the rug.
Yeah, I've had situations where I was in a schooling setting, and I was sharing a room with a guy, and there were people going around pranking all the dorms with a mix kind of CD or something like that, a little mix MP3 audio thing, and they had a Bluetooth speaker where basically linked to it was a track of train whistles, like a train horn going whoa, and a girl screaming, and they basically would play it at max volume right near your head while you're asleep. They would have someone flickering the lights on and off, the light switch, and they would have everyone else sitting there sleeping, going, and they're not making any noise or anything. It's just that, and it's coming right here, and you wake up to that, and I tell you, the reason why they do all this is to trigger your fight or flight instinct,
right?
And it triggers so fast that I am not really like a fan of sharing the details of this story, but I think it is apropos here. I went into the fight part. I didn't go into flight because I'm in a room. I'm in an enclosed space.
Exactly.
So my brain interpreted that there were things in front of me. I didn't even recognize them as people that were trying to kill me. And I don't sleep with clothes on. So in a split second, I became a naked feral beast, basically, and scared the crap out of one of the girls that was, involved in the whole thing there. They all ran out, and then I basically realized right as I was about to leave the door to go after them what had happened where I was, shut the door, collapsed against the door. My roommate slept through everything. Through the entire thing.
Yes,
through the entire thing.
That's right.
We're on a bunk bed kind of thing. Yeah. And he slept through the entire thing. And I just sat there against the door, just shaking and just holding myself. Tried to go back to sleep, went to my bed, took 2 or 3 hours to go back to sleep. I don't remember how long because I was just remembering the instance there.
You were juiced up on adrenaline.
I was, just, you don't do that to someone. It still makes me kind of shake thinking about it. Best thing though, I just finished this story here. My roommate knew who did it because I told him. And my roommate's this big teddy bear, big guy, 6'5", 250 pounds, maybe even bigger. And he kind of threw his weight around a little bit, but he found the ringleader person at the cafeteria and things later the next day. And he says, hey, you, so-and-so. And they're like, yeah. And he's like, it's a good thing I didn't wake up last night. And they're like, what? They're like, yeah, in Caleb's room. It's a good thing I didn't wake up last night. You want to know why? And I'm sitting there behind, looking what is he going to do? And they're like, why is that? He's like, because I have a Bowie knife. You know what a Bowie knife is? And the guy looks like,
Oh.
And he's like, yeah, don't ever come into our room again without our permission. Because I might use that. It was basically this thing of like, oh, okay, we don't mess with the big guy. And I felt so like, oh, I have a brother. He's so great.
Oh, he threatened to bring out the knife.
And it's a crazy story, but yeah,
you were legit scared for your life.
I was scared for my life and stuff like that. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was something else. But yeah, pranking people I think is something that yeah, it's a thing that I'm sure has its place. Mm-hmm. I personally don't have I don't have much for it. But in fiction, yeah.
I have a story to tell. So there was a point where me and Caleb were at our grandma, staying with our grandma.
Oh yeah.
We were doing some work, in the town that she lived in. And basically I got back from work before Caleb did.
Oh.
And the house was dark and everything, and I was like, okay, this is an opportunity right here. Mm-hmm. So I moved my shoes and everything and, all that stuff. So it seemed like I hadn't come home, I'd gone somewhere else and turned off all the lights.
Oh my God.
Caleb comes home and opens the door, and I'm smart about this.
Right.
So I make sure that I'm far away from where he'll be.
Yes.
He turns on a couple of the lights and he's like, okay, unwinding after work and stuff. And then I just jump out. Ah! He brings up his fists like he's about to kill something, and his eyes are wide as dinner plates.
Jacob's big.
Yeah,
Jacob's big. This is the thing, guys. You see us sitting down here, only the top third of us, but Jacob's big. It was amazing. I was like, all my dream training has prepared me for this home invasion moment.
Yeah, exactly.
I am now ready to release my
but it was
my non-existent black belts all over this this intruder.
and because I was, a good 10 feet away from him, he couldn't actually, it would have been better if I snuck up to him and actually got him, but then he probably would have. Yeah, exactly. Those kinds of things happen. You need to.
You just need to be prepared
for the consequences.
For them to do things that are unprecedented, just as you're doing something unprecedented.
Exactly. And that was just great. Oh man,
I'm sure you still think about it fondly. I forgot about that because apparently when I get scared like that, I selectively remove the thing unless something positive happened to recontextualize it later, like a roommate threatening a guy with a knife. That was that was pretty cool. That was pretty awesome.
Anyways,
yeah. So
pranks.
Onizuka, this show, it brings up some really cool nostalgic memories about trips and stuff, and I hope that they go more in depth into the, I would say, the character exploration for characters like Yoshikawa and Anko during this trip.
Yes.
And hopefully they give it, I would say, an ample amount of screen time because, like you were saying, Anko needs more,
right? And
needs more because she's not even that interesting at the moment,
right? And because the thing is, if anything, the thing that made her interesting before was that she had previously bullied Yoshikawa and wasn't anymore, right? But now it's like, okay, and I want to see Yoshikawa handle it 98% on his own by the end of it. That would be my ideal resolution. I know this is great teacher Onizuka.
I liked your little, what about the other 2%, setup joke for me. Yeah, but instead of doing that, I think that while what you're primarily saying is that Onizuka will inspire him to take action.
Exactly.
Or give him the idea of how to take action, but Onizuka will not be the one taking the action. It'll be Yoshikawa.
Exactly. Because,
Then we can kill two birds with one stone. We can get both of them developed. Yep. And then we can finally have the girl with them find out the story of, oh, what actually happened last night?
Yeah.
That would be also kind of random, but cool to have one of the girls actually be like, oh, Yoshikawa, you're so confident. That was it's kind of like, ooh,
It's that when the relationship between Yoshikawa and Anko takes a different turn, that girl also sleeps through the entire thing. I'll be here all night. right, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well done. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for watching this episode's
Yes.
reaction and discussion and hearing our little stories. If you want to see the next episode's reaction discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about stories or just hang out in general and chat about whatever. And if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
Next time.